a long, long time ago, in a castle far, far away, God said, "Let there be lips." And there were lips, and they were good.
Welcome to StoopidMovies, where we watch it so you don't have to. And Adam,
I'm Adam.
You are Adam.
You're Rob.
I'm Rob.
Ah!
Yay! And we're StoopidMovies.
Yes, we are. And this week, we watched the Rocky Horror Picture Show, Let's Do the Time Warp Again, from 2016. This is not your father's lips. An hour and 28 minutes long, 2016, rated TV 14. It starred Victoria Justice, Ryan McCartan as Brad and Janet. Adam Lambert was in it. He was pretty good. Had Tim Curry reprising or coming back to play the criminologist, and various other people as well.
They sang and they danced, and there was a lot of weird trash in this. Adam, what was this thing about?
The Rocky Horror Picture Show, as if you don't already know, is about two high school sweethearts, Brad and Janet, who are recently engaged and go on a trip to tell their favorite teacher that they're getting married. On the way, their car breaks down, so they go to a castle to seek help, and hijinks ensue. Let's explain to people our experience. Okay. How many times have you seen the Rocky Horror Picture Show in a theater?
0.
0 times. In comparison, in the 90s, I went every week to the midnight showing. I've shadow casted for many years, mainly as Riff Raff, but I have also played Frankenfurter, I have played Brad, I have played Janet. I've seen the play dozens of times. I love the Rocky Horror Picture Show. I have, in my personal collection, not counting Shock Treatment, not counting this remake, I have 8 different versions of this. So we're bringing a very different point of view between the two of us on this.
You like musicals. I like music. What do we like about this thing?
You want to start? Do you have much?
I don't have a lot.
Why don't you get all of yours out of the way right up front, and then I'll go through mine, because I have a list.
Okay.
All that top part is stuff I like.
Oh, nice. Yeah, no, it's shot well. I mean, it looks good. Quality-wise, it's fine. They do a good job in the presentation. I like the set pieces. Because the castle, the setting, location is all pretty good. I dig that stuff.
I love the opening sequence. Anyone who's seen the play knows that science fiction double feature,
I love that song,
which is a song you absolutely adore, is usually performed by a character called Trixie, or sometimes called the Usherette. Usually Trixie is like a 6'5" burly, hairy dude in a miniskirt. Not necessarily the case here. But it was nice to see that character. I love that the movie theater segments to this, it had that feeling of being at the midnight show of this. People laughing and joking and throwing things at the screen and talking back and forth with the characters. That is what it's like when you're there. And it was so cool to see that. It's kind of trashy. It's kind of grungy. You feel like you need a shower afterwards, but you have so much fun. One thing I thought was really cool was the audience callbacks, because some of the callbacks that they were throwing out were ones that I myself have thrown out. And I also liked that in the main movie, there were references back to the original movie. Like the Meatloaf joke. If you haven't seen the original movie, you don't realize that Eddie was played by Meatloaf and that they ate him. And so in this one, when she's like, "Oh, not Meatloaf again," it's like, for those of us who know the original and love it, that's a great joke.
So I will say, and you may say this, but I did like seeing Tim Curry in this. I love Tim Curry.
He was great in this.
Tim Curry's awesome. It was cool seeing him kind of have a small role in this.
People I love. Fucking Sal Piro. He's the head of the Rocky Horror Picture Show fan club. He was the photographer at the beginning. Thank you for throwing stuff like that in for those of us who've been around for, since the 90s, and other people have been along longer than that even. I thought personally that Ryan McCartan and Victoria Justice as Brad and Janet were just perfect. They did a great job, and they should feel very, very proud of what they did. Tim motherfucking Curry. I thought it was really cool how they brought Rocky to life. And it is very, very different from the first movie. There were a lot of nods to Frankenstein, which this is a Frankenstein tale at its core. And there were lots of jokes like Mary Shelley's tombstone was in the graveyard. They used lightning to bring Rocky to life. Stuff like that I thought was really cool, and it was a nice nod to the play. I actually, surprisingly, I really liked Adam Lambert as Eddie. The band that followed them around like the Greek chorus, that was awesome. I love that. It's like, it wasn't just normally in musicals, music just starts out of nowhere and they start singing.
Right.
For the most part in this, there was a band there playing the music for them to sing to. And I thought that was really fun.
Yeah, that definitely helped.
They put the full cut of Superheroes in here, which is one of the songs at the very end. For whatever fucking reason in the United States, we usually get a cut version of that song. I thought it was really cool that they gave us the full version. And I like that finally, it took till the end of the movie, but they finally had the lips on screen singing to us. That's what this movie is. It's fucking the lips. And they didn't put them in until the very end, but they were there.
But what didn't we like about this movie? Yes.
About this movie.
Right.
It's a movie.
It is a movie.
And we're asking what we didn't like about it. Yep.
I don't like that it's a musical. I didn't like the music in it. The renditions of some of the songs I was not a fan of, because the original was rock and roll.
You know what?
Right?
My first note, the rock music in this movie was weaker than the Rocky Horror Glee show.
Right.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Where was the fucking pounding rock music? This is a rock musical.
It was too tame and just didn't really impact anything. It was just like, this is boring.
As a whole, this movie, it just kind of lacked any balls. Like, the original movie is gritty and it's dark and it's dangerous and, yeah, it's tame now. But at the time it came out, it was fucking pushing the envelope and it was dangerous. And this movie just had no fucking balls to it. It's like they neutered the fucking thing. Speaking of not having balls, Frankenfurter, the main character, is a man who dresses in women's clothing. He's a transvestite.
Right.
That is his shtick. You cast a woman to play this character. You have a woman playing a man who is a transvestite. No. And it pisses me off because I actually genuinely think Laverne Cox is a good actor. She was not the right choice for Frank. She could have been another character and would have been fine. I wouldn't have cared at all. But Frank is a man who is a transvestite. You have a woman walking around in women's clothing. Whatever. No big deal. That's misses the whole point. It is a man who wears women's clothing. You can't fucking do that.
Didn't work. I concur.
Especially because she sings a song where she says, I'm a sweet transvestite. Honey, no, you're not. You're a woman wearing women's clothing. That's just normal. You're not a transvestite. Don't sing about being a transvestite if you're not a fucking transvestite. That's fucking...
The pacing was slow for me.
Yes.
You know, and maybe it's meant to be. I don't remember a lot about the original, but I couldn't get into it. And, you know, I tried to go in with an open mind.
No,
you know?
that's fair.
And I tried, and I kept trying, and I'm like, ah.
So in the original, the pacing was a little slow just because it was a different time.
70s generally is a slow decade.
A lot of it was just acting choices they made to put pauses in certain places. It felt kind of unnatural, but whatever. In this one, it was an intentional choice to try to mirror that.
Yep.
And it didn't work. I didn't like it. I didn't like that at all.
It was just too... Blah.
The Time Warp. The iconic song from this movie. They neutered the song. What the fuck? So the other actor I really didn't like cast in this movie. Annalee Ashford playing Columbia. In the play and in the movie and in the shadow cast, Columbia is one of the most fun roles to play because she's goofy, she's ditzy, she's stoned out of her mind. You played her like you had just gotten out of bed and wanted to go back to sleep. It's like you were bored. This is a fun fucking character. Why were you bored playing it? If you didn't want to play it, don't play it. Let someone else play it who fucking respect the role. It's a fucking fantastic character and you butchered it. Having a Columbia who acts like she's doesn't even want to be there is not acceptable. Fuck you. I actually have seen Annalee Ashford in other things and I know she can act, so I don't get what she was doing here. Ben Vereen did a great job in this movie. Okay. Nothing against him. You will always be Mayor Ben to me from Zoobilee Zoo. Is Dr. Scott not a Nazi anymore? In the original, it's insinuated, and that not only is he a Nazi, but he was one of the people who had put Frank in a concentration camp. None of that was here. I know this was made for TV. I get that they had to change some things to make it for TV. They changed a lyric that just felt clunky. It's something you'll get used to. A mental mind fuck can be nice. That was the original.
Sure.
And then they had to change it to a mental mind game can be nice. And it just felt so clunky. It's like, couldn't you have found something better? A mental mind freak could be nice. Something. Look, I just did your job for you.
You'd better flow, yo.
Another thing, and the big problem with doing this for TV, is you can't have half your cast running around in lingerie. This movie needs that. That's what this movie is. They gotta be in lingerie. It just doesn't look right otherwise. I could go on for an hour about the things I didn't like, but I think that kind of sums it up.
Yeah, dude, you took the words right out of my mouth, just like Meatloaf.
Like Meatloaf!
Saying, damn!
I tried really hard to be fair to this movie because the original Rocky Horror has shaped my life. Going to that midnight showing helped shape my sense of humor for who I am now. Seeing a lot of the things that I saw on there helped shape who I am as a person. It helped shape my overhyped sex drive. I mean, it helped me be the person I am today. And it is very, very special to me. And I tried really hard not to let that affect me watching this. And I think for the most part, I was successful.
Yeah, you did good.
There were times where I was like, well, why didn't you do it like the original did? But for the most part, there were a lot of changes that I thought those worked. They were cool. It works better for the time. Okay, I'm fine with a lot of that. But it was just so fucking weak. Rob Zombie needed to do this movie. It needed to be. It's a dirty, grungy movie. This is your midnight in downtown New York watching this movie. The floors are sticky. The handrests are everything's sticky. It's gross and it smells and it's hot. And you're like this close to the person next to you. And that is this movie. This is Grindhouse. And they missed that. No one will ever do a midnight showing of this movie. Technically, it was good. It's just completely unnecessary. Should never have been done. 1.5 out of 8.
This isn't my cup of tea. I don't like musicals. I'm not a fan of I'm not a fan of the original. It's not something I've only seen probably once, maybe twice. But it is shot well. It looks good. But I was bored out of my mind. Every time they started singing, I'm like, yeah, where's my earplugs? So, but I was not a fan. I didn't like it. I'm going to go 0.5 out of 8.
If you like what we're doing, or you want to interact with us about this, because this is like the grandfather of cult, hit us up on Facebook.com/StoopidMovies. You can check us at Instagram @StoopidMovies, @TheHorrorPunk, @Dr. Sketch Turner. Really, I think the best way to get us right now is if you want to just go down below and tell us what you thought about the Rocky Horror remake.
Yep, like, subscribe if you like us.
Yeah.
Do that. Tell your friends if you haven't, just do it. Email StoopidMovies@outlook.com.
Yeah. If you're in a Shadowcast and you guys have a cool event coming up, let us know. Or if you have a picture of your whole cast, definitely send us a picture. And if you want to be obscene, that's fine too. But I just love seeing the Shadowcast. They're such a diverse group of people. They're always interesting to watch. I absolutely adore you guys. And I wish I wasn't so fat and I could do it again. Or I could be a little fatter and be Eddie. But there's no way you're getting me into a lace teddy with this much fat.
Me either.
In closing, God bless Lily St. Cyr.